Welcome to my channel. Before talking about the last data type, symbol, I'd like to introduce some gotchas related to functions. The first one is return undefined by default. So if we define a function and there's no return statement inside this function when we call it, okay, and the returned value is going to be undefined by default. So here in the example, my point doesn't work. In this example, we have a greeting here, and in the greeting, we don't have any return statement. So when we call greeting method, as we know, it's gonna execute the console log. We will see hi from Miss Xing in the console. What's the result? In JavaScript, by default, it's gonna become undefined. Now let me show you this one. I had a demo already, so I just show you guys the demo. This one, function gotchas. So this is the demo, the same as what you see in the slides. And here I will how we'll do is comment all others first, okay? And now let me show you in the browser. Here we inspect, and so here inside the console you will see hi from Miss Xing. This one is from the printing, which is line 9, right? When we execute the greeting method, and the result returned by greeting is gonna be undefined. Okay, that is the first one. If we don't specify return value, you're gonna get it undefined. It's different from other language like Java. Okay, next one is function parameters value. This one I'm talking about in the print name. For first example, we here print name has one parameter, which is name. Okay, which is name. And now when we call print name, we didn't pass any variable. We didn't pass any values here, which is arguments. What's gonna become the value when in the console log? It's gonna become undefined. Okay, that because we didn't give any values when we call print name for the parameter, the default one gonna be undefined. And in JavaScript, optionally, you can also give a default value here. So in this case, which is second one, when I call print name, I also didn't pass value for the name parameter, but here we give a default value here, so your name is gonna be default value. Now let me show you these two cases. Because of this, I have to keep a switch between the screenshot mode and here. So this is the first example, print name, okay? And when I call print name, I don't give values here. If we can show if I give John, we know we will see your name is John inside the console, right? Your name is John. But if I don't do anything here, and you will see your name is undefined because we didn't pass. Suppose I have a print name too, okay? And I give a name, and I will copy this one, and this one, if I give default value here, suppose default one is called Miss Xing, okay, then I will call print name 2 again here. Excuse me. Now when we execute, you will see the default name is Miss Xing, because in the second case I didn't give the values to the name parameter, but here I have my default one. So in this case, if you don't give, you will have Miss Xing. But if I have print name and you give your own value, okay, Edward, then we're using Edward instead of Miss Xing. Yeah, you will see Edward. That is this one. The last one in this video is about no function overloading. So here we have 3 functions being defined, and they have the same function name. And their returned value actually as same, right? Which is undefined. But their arguments or parameters are different. Like if in other language, like Java, we will think it's gonna have 3 methods. When I call print arguments, we would think you're gonna call the first one. And when I call the second one, print arguments with 1 parameter, we will think you're gonna call the second one. This one is first one. And when I call the print arguments with 2 arguments, when we will think you're gonna call the third one. But in JavaScript, there's no function overloading. You will only have 1 copy of print arguments, which is the last one. Let me show you the behavior, then we can explain later, okay? Okay, so now I will comment this one. And then I will do uncomment those. Okay, let's first see the behavior. I call print arguments 3 times, and the first one didn't give any arguments, second one gave only 1, third one gave 2. So let's see what's gonna happen, okay? The result is actually showing here. When I run, you will see all of them are going to the last one. And the first one and the second one, which are no arguments and 1 argument, it never reaches. And no matter how you call them, and all of them gonna be go to the last one, which is 2 arguments. And for this method, okay, print arguments, I expect you have argument 1 and argument 2, right? But I call without giving, so by default I will have 2 arguments, and which are undefined. And now the second case is I pass 1 argument here. So 10 gonna become the value of argument 1, and argument 2 I don't have values, so it's gonna be undefined. So it's gonna be a value 2 arguments, 10 and undefined. And for the third one, I have 20, 30, and 20 gonna be the value of argument 1, 30 gonna be the value of argument 2. So you will have 2 arguments, 20 and 30, like here. And if I call more than that, print arguments, if I give 40, 50, 60, 70, okay? If I do like this way, and as we know, in the last print arguments, I only have 2 parameters here. And so argument 1 gonna become value of 40, argument 2 gonna become the value of 50, and 60 and 70, those 2 values, arguments, are going to be ignored. And if you really want to reach it, you actually can get it. There's another object, which is implicit object called arguments. You can do a loop on that and to get all the arguments you pass in. And we will cover that in the future when we talk about REST parameters. Okay, so now let me show you the last one, which is here. Have a 40 and 50. The 60 and 70 are ignored. Okay, so what did happened? Why we have three functions defined here with different arguments? It eventually only get 1. Here I just will give you a very brief explanation. Okay, because in inside the JavaScript, later on we will cover about what? I want using this one. Later on we'll cover lexical execution context, and we'll cover lexical environment. In JavaScript, the functions are also considered as values. So you can consider like here. I will draw it. Okay, wait for me for a second. So in in the JavaScript engine, we will have what? We have a stack. Let me see if this one works. Doesn't work. Okay, I will fix it later. We'll have, let me see if I can do like this way. See if it's gonna work. We have a stack, and here this one is kind of like a heap. Okay, functions are objects inside the JavaScript. So in the stack, we will have a variable called the print or arguments. Okay, and the first time when this function, in the first function defined in our heap, we're gonna create an object. Okay, we are going to create an object which is for the first one, no arguments at all. Okay, no argument at all. Then this one point to here. Okay, and then when we have a second one, so when the second one, we have another function object, and this one is one argument. And after do, we see, okay, the print name, the function name is the same, right? So what's it gonna do? This one gonna be this point. We're gonna point to here. So the first argument is gonna kind of like overrides. Okay, it's actually point to another one. And the same thing happened to the last one. And last one, we will have another object with two arguments. And then we have print arguments, the same function name, and we will do like this way. So this one is being no pointer. So eventually, print arguments is point to the last one. That's why that's why it is what? No function overloading. Okay. And also in JavaScript, we talk about when we define function, we can using function expression, right? So the other way you probably will see more clear, like this way. Let me show you guys. Okay, if I write a function like this way, it will be more clear, like this one. I will do print arguments, but I cannot using let, because if I using let doing the same one, print arguments, you will have problem because let doesn't allow you to redefine. What you can do is do like this way, print arguments, and like this way. This is one way. Okay. You can think to understand like this way. These are print arguments, and which is always being over. The value is being reassigned. Like after the first one is no arguments, then you reassign to another one, then you reassign to another one. Like this way, it's gonna be the same behavior like what we did in this part, which is function. We can using the old var. Then we don't have any problem here, like this way. Because the var you can redefine, and when we find it, we're eventually gonna have one copy, and it will only have one print arguments, and all of them, the later one will override previous one. And if we do like this way, it will also work. Let me show you. Refresh. Argument one. Where is argument one? Oh, here I forgot the argument one. And we will have argument one here, and then argument two. What happened? They have special characters. Okay, now it works. Okay, probably have special characters, and I will have this one exactly same result. So when we define function like this way, you can think define function like this way, because the functions, they are values and they are objects. So you can think as they are being override. Okay. That's it for this video, and thank you for watching my video. See you next time. Bye bye.